Very good morning to all. I am Anil Gambhire, Assistant Professor of English Department, Rajmata Jijaऊ Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, Arts, Commerce, Science College, Landewadi, Bhosri. Today I am going to speak about linguistics. Linguistics is very important branch to study the language. Today we are going to discuss what is linguistics and why it is important to study in our day-to-day life. Linguistics, the word linguistics has been derived from Latin. Linguistic itself means, if you divide that word, lingo, a tongue, and istics, knowledge or science. So etymologically, therefore, linguistic is a scientific study of language, but it is not the study of one particular language, it is language of the world or the languages around the globe. So when we consider language, we have to understand what is language also. So when we say language studies scientifically in linguistics, scientifically here it means that, why it is scientifically? Because it study systematically language, it make observations and testing hypotheses and develop the theories, and that theories when we apply for other languages, that gives the expected results. That's why it is scientific. So David Crystal has defined language as a human voices or echoes which we produces, and that produced echoes when we brought into the shapes, that is called words or lexicals in languages. So it studies systematically and conventionally by community for purposes of communication. So the people use language for their own purposes. It has other aspects also, verbal and non-verbal, oral and written, but when we consider the linguistics, it studies the language from most important four branches. All these four branches study language from different perspective. So phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax and semantics are the four major branches of linguistics, and all these branches studies language from different perspectives. Phonetics studies the language sounds, how the sounds are produced, and they classified under different headings. Phonology studies the language specifically because there are so many languages in the world, and phonology can study any language around the globe. Morphology studies the words in the languages. Syntax, when these words brought together to form a sentence, these sentences are studied under the headings of syntax, and when these words brought together and form a sentence, that sentence has a certain meaning, and these meanings are studied under the headings of semantics in linguistics. The last branch, which is recently developed in around 19th century, that is pragmatics, which studies language in the contextual perspective, how the utterances, how the expressions comes in a specific situations that are studies in pragmatics. We'll go in detail with all these branches of linguistics. Phonetics studies the productions, transmission and reception of speech sounds, and phonology, the way sounds are used in individual languages. Morphology, that studies the formation of words and verb formations, how these words are developed, and all the word formation processes like affixation, suffixation, prefix, infix, root words, all these aspects are studied under the headings of morphology. Syntax, which is the third most important branch of linguistics, which studies how the words combine to form a phrase into a phrase, to clauses and clauses to join to make a sentence which is meaningful. Semantics, after those sounds brought into the shapes forming the words into a sentence, after composing a sentence we need a certain meaning, and that meaning is studied under the headings of semantics in the linguistics. I reach to the conclusion of today's topic. Linguistics, yes, it is very important branch to study languages. If you want to study language in detail, if you want to understand the structure of language in detail from the scientific perspective, it is necessary to study linguistics. As I conclude with the quote of Ferdinand de Saussure, who says linguistic system is a series of differences of sound combined with a series of differences of ideas. So, again it gives us the idea that language itself sounds, and that sounds representations in different way that studied scientifically under the headings of linguistics. So, that is why it is very important to study the linguistics. At the end, I want to suggest one book which is very important in linguistics, that is A Dictionary of Linguistics and Phonetics by David Crystal. It is like an Oxford dictionary for all of us for the language learning. It is for linguistics. Thank you.